Nah, that was for you, Brian. Hello, my fellow Retrotopians, and welcome to episode 139 of the Retrotopia podcast. We're talking the PS1 classic Tomb Raider. But before we get to Tomb Raider and all of our pre-show fun, let's go through a few things, shall we? Rate us 5 stars and leave a comment. That helps us get out there. Social media? Sure, why not? We got that. You can find everything social media related, among other things, over at our link tree, linktr.ee/Retrotopia. You can also find our Dashery page, retrotopia.dashery.com. You can use the link in the description of this podcast and find our new merch store, which, I don't know, let's not call it new anymore. It's just the merch store. It's got some cool stuff in there. Check it out. Patreon. Yeah, we got that. We got a free tier. You can join for free, and you can take part in polls, chat with us, the hosts, write in for the game of the week. You can write in for the 9-bit banter box, just general participation. You can get a quick play. You get quick play. You can listen to those. Those are fun. Our short review series, and you get Retro Bites 15 days early with an extra topic and featuring more Joe. I don't know if anyone wants that, but it's there. But what do you get at the Hero tier for just $2 a month? American. You get to select a game for one of us hosts to review on Quick Play. You get to listen to New Game Plus. That's our new game, modern game review show. That's a fun one. And you get a shout out. We have 2 new heroes this week. We have Micah Williams and Almighty Dog. So, welcome you two. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the community. Great to have you. But let's get things started. I did mention the 9-bit banter box, which is our comments section. So let's get to it. Fill Up My Mouth with Farts says, is there a game genre that no matter what good things are said about that genre, you just can't get into it? For me, it's sports games. I don't know if it's the repetitiveness of the genre, just doing the same thing match after match or game after game. Game after game, or what? Or if it's my need to have games have a beginning, middle, and ending. How about you? I'm there with you. Sports games are a good shout out. I like sports, but I'm not someone who sinks like hours and hours and hours into like a Madden or Chell or 2K, NBA 2K. Yeah, isn't that funny? There's definitely a dividing line. There used to be like 2K sports had like one of every major sport, but now it's like EA definitely has hockey, football, and baseball. Do they have baseball? No, I can't remember. I can't remember if the show was an EA game or not, but like basketball is like 2K. So like 2K kept basketball because they must have done that the best, and then like EA is like, yeah, you can have basketball. We'll take the rest. It's just crazy. But yeah, sports games, which is funny, like the repetitiveness of sports games, but I also like grindy RPGs. But I guess maybe it is that beginning, middle, and end. I mean, you can end a season, but it is one of those games where you can just kind of dip in and play over and over again. You know, exhibition games, you can play seasons, you can have franchise mode, you can do GM, all the modes, but they don't really have like a conclusion or a story. Simulation games are another one for me. Like, I know I'm gonna have to play one of these one day because people really rave about them. But like Power Wash Sim, Lawn Mowing Sim, those don't really appeal to me. Or like life sim games, and like even the cozy games. Like I'm playing Pokopia. There will be a review. Speaking of, just real quick pause. New Game Plus. There will be a Pokopia New Game Plus at some point. I've not finished it. I don't know if I ever will. I don't know if it's a game you can finish. I think it's one of those where you just keep playing. There might be a conclusion to it, but that's kind of the thing where it's like Animal Crossing, fine, but there really isn't like a beginning, middle, and end to Animal Crossing. You build up your island enough, and it's like, well, what do? Do you just start a new one? I don't know. This is a long answer to a question that I think I've already answered it. Yeah, I guess sports games, simulation games, cozy games, those are kind of the ones that I just can't get into them. I don't know. Anyways, hopefully that doesn't give away my thoughts on Pokopia, because it is a pretty cool game. But anyways, Dave Brooker says, hey, hopefully I'm saying your name right. Hey Sam, do you have a go-to handheld when traveling? I've got my Anbernic 35XXSP. It's hard to say. But I'm debating with myself to take the Switch 2 next month, which is a lot bigger. Can imagine this has been asked before, if so, apologies. First of all, no apologies allowed. I have not been asked this one, but even so, I would answer it for you again, good sir. I don't do a lot of traveling, but for me, I think my go-tos would be, I have a Switch Lite, so that's a nice, smaller version of the Switch, good for RPGs and like doing the Switch Online Game Boy games and stuff. Maybe a GBA or 3DS if I was like actively playing something on it, but I guess whatever I'm currently playing something on that's small enough. I mean, you could. I mean, the Switch 2 is meant to be portable. It just is a little bit larger, as is the Steam Deck. Those are kind of my portables, aside from the previously mentioned 3DS, GBA, and Switch Lite. But I don't know. I'd probably take I guess it's like, ooh, look at me in my ivory tower with my Switch 2 and my Switch Lite, and they're all connected up, and I can play whatever on it. But yeah, no, I would tend to go smaller. So like if you've got that Anbernic thing, I looked that up. That looks perfect for traveling. It's like a GBA SP on steroids or whatever. The other thing too is like, man, if I had like a massive emulator with like hundreds of games on it, I'd get like choice paralysis. But the travel size compactness is great. But yeah, I don't know. My squirrel brain would be like, I want to play this, and I'd play it for 5 minutes, and I'd switch to something else. I don't know. Yeah, I guess my answer is probably my Switch Lite. Alright, Munchie says, Sam the Gaming Man, the world wants to know it's breakfast time and you can only pick one. You're going sausage or bacon. Easy, that's bacon. The Big Deal says, if you could bring back one classic Sega franchise from the Genesis era, what would it be? Would you want it to be a modern adaptation like Streets of Rage 4 or stick to the classic pixel art inspiration a la Sonic Mania? First, I would love another Sonic Mania. Just like make it Sonic Mania 2 or Sonic, I don't know, what Mania, Sonic Craziness, I don't know. Sonic Mass Hysteria. There we go. That's that's the sequel to Sonic Mania. I would say let's go with, it's tough. I picked 3 different franchises, but I'm going to probably say Shining Force. Even though there are games in the Shining Force series I've not played, because I've only played the first one, but I think that would be a good shout. That'd be a fun one to bring back. I mean, I'd stick to the classic pixel art. Maybe a little bit better than what the original Shining Force was, but the original Shining Force looked pretty good, and it's a really fun game. I like that style of... I liked that game. That was a good one. I like that you can walk around when it's your turn. Like the movement was interesting, rather than just like directing them around. Anyways, I'm going off on a tangent. Another one would be Phantasy Star, because there was 1 through 4 on the Master System and then Genesis, but then what was it, like Phantasy Star Online? That one's kind of died a little bit. It'd be cool to have a new Phantasy Star, 2D HD Phantasy Star. I think Gunstar Heroes. I know they've made other Gunstar Heroes, like there was a GBA one maybe, but that'd be a fun one to bring back. So those 3, Shining Force, Phantasy Star, Gunstar Heroes. It's a me Hooli says, Super Sexy Sam, I am playing the ROM hack Super Mario Mon. So my question is, what other franchise would you like made in the style of the classic Pokemon game? So I'm assuming Super Mario Mon is like Pokemon, but with Mario characters as the Pokemon, and that sounds pretty crazy. I would take like, what if you had like fighting game characters like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, like those games that have like pretty big rosters now after several iterations. Yeah, like a Street Fighter one. Or what if you did like Marvel or DC superheroes? That'd be kind of cool too. Yeah, I'm gonna go with those. I Did Nothing Wrong said, "Hey Sam, how are you feeling about the newly announced 2D HD Final Fantasy Resonance? Personally, I couldn't be more excited. Looks like the best Final Fantasy since 10 at least." Yes. I tell you what, I don't have a lot of spare time because, I think all of the major platforms at this point in the year have announced or had, like, I don't know, Nintendo calls it the Direct, but like the direct-to-consumer, whatever the hell, announcements, and it sounds like at least a couple of them knocked it out of the park. I'm really excited. Like the Nintendo Direct, people were shitting all over the Nintendo Direct. I thought it was fine. Like that Star Fox game, and I know it's a remake of a remake of a remake, but I don't care. I've been wanting a new Star Fox, and it's like that game, Star Fox is great. But yeah, that one and this Final Fantasy game. Sorry, I am getting to your question. That Star Fox game and this Final Fantasy 2D HD type game looked really freaking cool. But yeah, it definitely crossed my radar. I love the style of these. I'm a sucker for it. And I guess it's an action RPG, but I don't know. I have faith in Square, the Square brand. They know how to make an action RPG. They know how to make turn-based RPGs. They can. I'm not saying they can do no wrong, but they know their way around a good RPG. But there's also that. I'm wondering how it's going to stack up against that game Adventures of Elliot. That was announced, I think, when the Switch 2 was originally announced in that Direct, and that looks cool too. So I'm kind of wondering if those are really similar. I'd have to do my research, but anyway, just give me more of this stuff. That's all I want. All right, Retro Salvage Games says, Saturday Night Sam Master. I don't have much to say other than, do you love me? Do you want to be my friend? And if you do, well then don't be afraid to talk to me, or afraid to take me by the hand if you want to. I think this is how love goes. Check yes or no. I had to look that up. It's not a song I'm familiar with, which is probably like people are like, oh, what? How do you not know that? I don't know. But yeah, I'll check yes. And by the way, check out Retro Salvage Games. If you're in our Discord, there's a whole channel. Yeah, great work over there, and it's you have your own website? I know it's the official retro game shop of Retrotopia, and you can check all that out. I know you got an eBay shop, but it's off and running. You got really great stuff. Some of the stuff you posted looks really good. I'm like, I don't know. It's like if your retro shop like came and showed you all the stuff they had constantly, I'd be like, oh, I want that. But anyways, come check them out. Blue Yoshi 94 says, Sam, if you had to play one Atari game for the rest of your life, what would it be? I'm rereading this question again, and I do have an answer for you, but hopefully it's not. If you had to play one Atari game for the rest of your life, and that's the only thing you could play, I think I would just say I'm not going to play video games anymore. Not that the Atari is bad. It's just like, I don't know. I don't want to walk around as just a square. I would say The Empire Strikes Back. There's a quick play way back in the early days. I think it was the first quick play I did, because it's actually one of the first video games I remember playing. It fucking sucks. And there's only one level. But, whatever. I could probably describe the game within this, have like incept the Empire Strikes Back Atari game into this Tomb Raider episode. But there's a quick play about it. So if you haven't joined our Patreon and you're interested in The Empire Strikes Back for the Atari, why don't you jump in the Patreon and you can have access to the quick play. Oh, anyways, that was good. Thank you guys. Thanks for all your questions. And now it is time for our game show. Choose one, lose one.
Ladies and gentlemen, roll up and choose your power-up from the game of the week. You pick a power, we pick a consequence. It's Choose One, Lose One, the game where everyone's a loser.
Alright, thanks. Here is Choose One, Lose One. You've heard the rules. Let's go. Fill Up My Mouth with Farts says, I just want to look good in a pair of shorts and a tank top like Ms. Croft. Granted, but someone enters the fabled nude code on you and you lose your tank top and your shorts. You have to walk around naked. Peter Brooker says, I want a nude patch, but the lose one is just too obvious. Is it? Well, here, you didn't specify what kind of nude patch it is, so your nude patch is just a crotch cutout on all your pants. Munchie says, I want the physical ability to jump, flip, and pull myself up on any ledge with no signs of weariness. You can have that ability, but it's going to take you a good minute or so to line up every jump, and there's still a good chance you're just going to fling yourself off in some random direction. Or over jump. Man, those tank controls are something else. You get tank controls, basically, along with your ability, so have fun with that. It's a me Hooli says, can I just have Lara, please and thank you? Yeah, but you get the original version. You don't get the remastered HD version. You get that face. It's funny, I don't think we mentioned this in the in the game chat, but it's like they spent a whole lot of time coming up with her shape, and then she turns around, it's like, oh god. Oh, the face looks funny. Alright. The Almighty Dog says, I still to this day would love to have a pair of those two-hand cannons, and I'm talking about the Desert Eagles. Well, sorry, I misunderstood and I gave you boobs where your hand should be. Alright, Retro Salvage Games says, I choose to look at this game as a wholesome, lustless experience. A brave young woman on an expedition filled with adventure, secrets, and possibly new romance. The greatest treasure isn't what you find, it's who you become along the way. Nice try. I grant you the nude code. Have fun with your wholesome experience. Well, thanks everyone for playing, and now let's turn it over to Alan for this week's Gentleman's Interlude.
Good heavens! Has Miss Croft finally remembered I exist? I've been locked in that refrigerator for years. No? Oh, I see you're looking for Miss Lara Croft. I'm afraid I haven't the faintest idea where she is. If I were to speculate, I'd start with the adventure that first made her famous. Knowing Miss Croft, she may well be retracing those very steps. Her first great expedition concerned an artifact known as the Scion. A woman named Natla hired her to recover it, which sent her racing across the globe. She explored ancient ruins in Peru, navigated treacherous tombs in Greece, uncovered secrets in Egypt, and eventually discovered the lost continent of Atlantis. Along the way there were wolves, bears, crocodiles, dinosaurs, mercenaries, collapsing structures, and enough reckless acrobatics to make any respectable servant lose sleep. That adventure was the original Tomb Raider, developed by Core Design and published by Eidos Interactive. It was first released for the Sega Saturn in Europe on 25th of October 1996. Before arriving on PlayStation and MS-DOS shortly afterward. The game became famous for its vast 3D environments, exploration-focused gameplay, environmental puzzles, and of course, Miss Croft herself. Many people consider it one of the defining action-adventure games of the 1990s and a landmark title in the history of 3D gaming. So, if she's anywhere, perhaps she's dangling from a ledge in Peru, searching for a lost relic, or running through a Greek ruin, or being chased by something extinct. It would hardly be unusual. No, I'm afraid I can't be more specific than that. Now, what are you doing with that refrigerator door? Oh, I don't think that's necessary. Really, I have only just come out. Oh, must we? Oh, very well. Do tell Miss Croft that I was asking after her. Oh, good heavens. It's even colder than I remember.
All right, thanks, Alan. And now, let's hear what some of you Retrotopians have to say about our game of the week this week, Tomb Raider. David Brooker says, I was 18 and became aware that we have digital 3D women. And I was 18 and became aware that we have digital 3D women now. Before this, Samantha Fox strip poker was the go-to. Besides my horny teen desires, this game was amazing. Dual wielding and killing all kinds of animals, 3D platforming, movies with Angelina Jolie, heaven. Controls sucked though. Yeah, those controls are tough. It's funny, we talk about it a little bit though. I left the tank controls on the whole time. I couldn't get on with the 3D controls. I don't know what it was. And what is Samantha Fox strip poker? Hold on, sorry, this is bad radio, but I want to look this up. Strip poker. Hopefully you're not leading me down a dark and smutty path. 1986 erotic video game developed by... Oh my god, what? For the Commodore 64? Shut up. What would that even look like? British model and singer Samantha Fox. Okay. Well... They should do a remake of this. She's 60 now, it says. Oh, that's fun. Oh boy. Well, maybe that's a quick play someday. Munchie says, Tomb Raider. Can anyone who's played this honestly say they didn't try a cheat code to make Lara nude? Also, there's a T-Rex. Yeah, there is a T-Rex. And yes, there were rumors about the nude code. Oh boy. All right, it's me, Hooli says, I remember my mom picking up the trilogy collection of these for our first PC. I never beat any of them, and I couldn't figure out how to connect my PC controller we had, but it was a damn good time nonetheless. Memories. Honestly, I would say, I wonder if this tank controls would be fine on a PC. I'd have to try that sometime. But yeah, it's like, you couldn't get your controller to work, but the controls are crazy anyway, so whatever. All right, and Retro Salvage Games says, Tomb Raider, I barely knew her. That's fun. Good one. All right. Hopefully I delivered that with good diction there for the diction. All right, before I ramble on and make more of a fool of myself, let's get to this chat. Tomb Raider, released in 1996, developed by Core Design and published by Eidos Interactive. This was a Saturn game first. I bet a lot of people didn't know that because it kind of blew up on the PS1 and Lara became kind of a mascot for PlayStation of sorts. Yeah, Sega Saturn first, then PS1, PC, etc., etc. So let's go, Tomb Raider. Everybody, welcome to the podcast. We're talking Tomb Raider today, and with me is my right boob. I gotta start that one over.
Keep it going.
Oh man, my right boob Alan and my left boob Brian. How you guys doing? Just leave that in. Leave all of it in. I couldn't even get it out.
Yeah. I'm feeling sharp and pointy.
We are coming in.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, that is literally the entire reason anybody played this game back in the younger days.
Coming in hot like a fucking torpedo.
Yep.
Yeah, Jesus.
It definitely was an awakening for many a teenage boy. And maybe girl as well, who knows?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can't discriminate nowadays. It's 2026.
No. Well, I'm just saying, Lara Croft, she had us all in a chokehold back in the day, so...
When you guys play, well, I don't know about you, Alan. You played the original, but Sam, when you played the game, did you actually take the time to go between the remaster and the original and just make the boobs go sharp and round and sharp and round and sharp and round?
Yeah, bed goes up, bed goes down. Bed goes up. No, but I did flip. I really we'll talk about the remaster or the whatever. It's a remaster, right? Not a full remake. What a fantastic
remasters with quality of life.
What a fantastic remaster that was, because I mean, now granted, we'll talk, maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves. The graphics are a little bit dark sometimes, they're hard to see, but I would, if I had trouble seeing something in the old version, I would flip it to the new graphics and vice versa, and I would just flip back and forth that way.
I ended up just keeping it to the original graphics because I was getting sick of flipping back and forth by the end of it, but I would go in just to see what it looked like.
See, look at you young'uns with your flipping of graphics and what have you. I was just playing on a PlayStation 1. So.
Since we put this game on the list to talk about, the remaster has become... I got it on PlayStation at one point. It was free on Epic Games. I got it on Good Old Games through Amazon Prime. And I can't remember where else, but I have it in a fourth location. I have 4 copies of the remaster of this game now.
I mean, it's worthwhile to have around.
Definitely. Do you think that's because they've got the complete remake, I think, coming out not too long from now? Do you think that was just to whet your appetite and drive up interest in this fate of Atlantis?
It gets people back talking about it again.
Right, because there's a lot
like we are.
There's a lot of Tomb Raider games, but I mean that original 3 were on the PlayStation, so like that. I mean, for a while, the games kept coming out, and granted, I'm not the best, barometer for like how cool a game is, because I didn't play video games for a few years, but like the PS2, PS3, PS4 era, like they weren't. I don't know. Did they do well? Like I don't hear a lot about those games. There's a lot of games in there. I'm like, oh my god, there was more Tomb Raider games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Apparently the reboot of it is really well done, but it's just kind of one of those games that blended in with all the stuff that was coming out at the time.
Yeah. And I mean, then
it's hard to shake the
Uncharted and stuff.
Well, that's exactly what I was just about to say. It's hard to shake the Uncharted comparisons, but Lara was here first.
She was,
and. Yeah, I think is there like 4 or 5 games on the PlayStation 1 which were all sort of well received. A case of kind of diminishing returns towards the end there, but still pretty well received. There was the Angel of Darkness on the PlayStation 2, which was an abomination. Not a very good game at all. And yeah, then they started to sort of go down the road of Legends and the Anniversary Edition, which were, I mean, the Anniversary Edition is more, I guess it's not a remake, but I guess it's the remaster, the first remaster of this first Tomb Raider game. And I've yet to play all of the new trilogy. I played the first one. Really good game. Really good game. It's hard to fuck up an action adventure sort of game like that when you've got things like Uncharted, or when you've got the sort of legacy that Tomb Raider has to begin with. It's just like it's kind of hard to fuck that up. And they didn't, so I'm glad. But I love Tomb Raider.
This is the first time I mean, we can go into our histories with it. I mean, obviously you've played it several times. I think, Brian, you've probably played it before. This is my first time actually playing it a significant amount, much less to completion. But yeah, I think I
completed a few times playing this game, if you know what I mean.
Flipping back and forth between those graphics. Yeah, I just, you're a retro gamer if you're like, she turns me on more with the old graphics. Whatever, I'm kidding. That's a joke. It's a bad joke. Yeah, I'd never played it all the way through. I think I had one of those like jam-packed discs that had all the the warehouse level of Tony Hawk and the whatever,
Are you talking about the PlayStation magazine demo discs?
So it had like a little bit of medieval,
great.
And it had this first, because I remember playing it enough that I had difficulty with it at the time, obviously, because the controls aren't the easiest to deal with, and by that time, if like I had played Mario 64, I wasn't going to go back to tank controls. But
yeah, that's the thing about these early PlayStation games, is the tank controls really make them hard to go back to.
I don't mind tank controls. Is that a hot take? Like
no, and I've been on this soapbox before, and people have commented on this, but I I like the tank controls. I don't know, it's just
Yeah.
nostalgia for me. It's just something that I think it's because I've spent so much time playing things like Silent Hill, Resident Evil, stuff like that. And of course, Tomb Raider. It's part of my DNA now.
Well, it's not even that for me. It's just like it's almost like this is the way the game is made, I guess. It's designed this way, and it almost kind of added to the, because this is kind of, there are puzzles to solve and stuff like that. Like you have to traverse different areas and find your stuff, and then there's a lot of backtracking and exploring through these levels. And it's like if I'm presented with a series of platforms I have to, or like a room where you have to progressively climb higher and higher, it's like that in itself with the tank controls was almost like part of the puzzle, and it ended up being kind of enjoyable, actually.
100%. 100%. And
See, I'm the opposite way. I immediately, once I found out I could, switch to modern controls.
Oh, yeah.
I found the game more enjoyable playing with the way that my mind is used to playing. I go back to Mega Man Legends as a game that I can't play because of the tank controls, because the D-pad doesn't work well in 3D games. And by far, this is one of probably the better games because, you run forward and then you just pivot on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, I don't know, like, we've been so blessed with the modernization of controls that when I go back to games like this, I can't, like, I don't know, regress my brain back to those eras and work myself around these tank controls, so I struggle all the time, and it's more telling of the time of the game. And I do remember when these games first came out, like this Siphon Filter, like I said, Mega Man Legends. I had no problem playing these games. My brain was completely on board with tank controls. Resident Evil 2, I played and I really enjoyed back then because, again, tank controls. Silent Hill games, tank controls. But nowadays, I try to go back and I just struggle. And anything that requires any sort of reflex, I just can't do it anymore. Like, my brain just does not know how to make the tank controls work properly for me. So when the modernized controls on this were available, fuck it, I'm doing that.
Well, that's absolutely fair. And I think it's because, back in the day with the action-adventure kind of genre, tank controls were kind of prevalent and there wasn't necessarily a huge amount of options. So you just kind of got used to what you got used to, right? And like this game, like I can't even remember how we came across this game. I mean, I must have just gotten swept up in the hype for it. But I remember I played this all the way back on my Sega Saturn, which is what I had this game on to begin with. And it is gorgeous on that system. Like, I will hear no slander against the Sega Saturn. But I would take that console, if we were going to my nan's house, I would take the console with me, hook it up to her TV, and play more Tomb Raider, and try and figure out these intricately and spectacularly designed levels, and just get a little bit further and get frustrated and play again, and then finish it and start again. And this really was, and still is to this day, kind of a comfort food game for me. And a big sort of factor of that is that obviously now I can just play it without having to think too much about it. So the tank controls are they're just not an issue for me. I mean, a lot of it is very kind of almost mathematical in a sense. When you're traversing these things, you have to judge that gap. Can I make that with a standing jump? Can I make it with a running jump? Do I have to cling? Do I have to climb?
Exactly.
And you're sort of working out all these angles on the fly. And it's just, I love it. I love it. Spoiling the review already, but there we go.
Nah, that's fine.
See,
you can always gush about it.
I played this game when I got my PlayStation for Christmas. And I played it because I had bought a PlayStation magazine, and this was one of the games on the disc. And from that, I went out and I rented it because obviously I had no games. The whole scam I told my father was it came with a whole shit ton of games on these demo discs. I knew my dad was technologically defunct enough to believe that, so he got me the PlayStation for Christmas. Me and my brother, we both chipped in, and we bought Final Fantasy VII. And then from when he went back to college, I started picking away at the games on the demo disc, and I went and rented this, and that's how I first played it. And I got fairly far into it renting it. It wasn't until probably a year or two later I rented it again out of one boredom day and finished it off.
Yeah.
That's my history.
Nice.
Not exciting.
Damn
Yeah.
good. Damn
Yeah,
good.
no,
I like
I
it.
only played the one section of that one level over and over, and it was funny because like I was thinking to myself like I'm pretty sure I've played like a little bit of this, but not much, and it, like no shit, like that first level, once I rounded that corner and got into that room with there's two like wild dogs like on the floor area, and there's some platforming. I was like, I exactly remember this.
There it is.
It's so crazy how that comes back to you.
That's kind of like listening to an album you've never heard before, only to find one track that you have on there that you weren't expecting, right?
Oh yeah, it's like, oh, this is them. Whoa.
Hang on, I know this one.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Yeah. Track 1.
The rest of the album's shit. Fortunately, Tomb Raider is not.
No, not at all. Man, where do we go from here? So, like, I guess the story was interesting. It's almost like a playable, like, Indiana Jones style plot, right? Because Lara Croft is just kind of I mean, she's supposed to be smart, athletic. You know, she's like a female Indiana Jones is kind of
100%.
Like a female Angelina Jolie.
But yeah, like as you're playing through it, like I was getting very like Indiana Jones vibes from it. Like you can actually play that little training level where you're in her house or whatever. She's got this friggin' massive mansion for whatever reason. Like, I don't know all of her backstory.
Oh, she raids tubes and keeps all the money, and she's British, so it makes sense.
Yeah, we all have mansions over here, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, no, but you all go to different countries and
Steal
steal
other
artifacts.
stuff.
Yeah. I mean, do you guys not have a butler stuck in your fridge downstairs? No?
Just my butt.
Just your butt.
Yeah.
I love that. To touch on that, though, I mean, what a fucking brilliant tutorial level Lara's mansion is, right? I mean, it is so perfect. Rather than just have, here are the buttons and here's what they do, and, go and figure it out. It just gives you this entire mansion to just run around and tumble in and, look, there's a bunch of crates because we've just had lots of deliveries. So, I guess you can work out how the crates work. And, I've set up a gym. And it all just makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. But did you catch at the very end of it, they really troll the player because there's a swimming pool and it does like the swimming, and she's like, oh, now I need to get out of these wet clothes. And then it's like, it just fades out and brings you back to the, it's like, oh, but you don't get to watch this.
But yeah, but I mean, come on, like, I get everybody's like gawking over Lara Croft, but the reality was we were making fun of the fact that they just made pure triangle tits, because the graphics in this game, I don't care what you say about how much you like the game, the graphics are fucking awful.
I will concede that
they're fine.
It does.
Yeah, for the time, they're fine.
It works for the time, like it works for the time because this game walks so other 3D games can run.
Absolutely,
exactly.
And like, it just, oh god, the full motion video animation there, like that motorcycle scene when you leave Peru, just so poorly done, like compared to games that came out like not even a year later.
I mean, it's just a hair better than Money for Nothing by Dire Straits.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
Or like the early Pixar.
so fucking early. But
I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a TV show called Reboot.
Oh yeah.
I've heard of it. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Yeah, it was. I believe it was Canadian made, and it's just basically 3D animated characters inside of a computer system, and the animation reminded me of that because it's very stiff and it's not that realistically animated. Like, it obviously they didn't have motion capture suits back then, so they had to do everything manually. And again, you're at the infancy of 3D, so a lot of stuff you can forgive on this because it was at the beginning.
And a lot of like PlayStation and N64 games and things like that do suffer from the same curse. It's just it's the first time things had really started moving over to 3D, and I think they did the best they could, but I think a lot of the textures and the shades of brown and the shades of grey and stuff like that do kind of tend to blur together.
See, that's why the N64 looked better back in the days, because everything was just bright, solid colors all over the place, where this game actually tried to add realism through the texturing
and stuff. I always try when I'm playing a game like this to put myself in the year that it was made and try to think of like, okay, let's just pretend for a moment that I'm back in 1996 and playing this game for the first time, and this is like this is cutting edge. This
it was
from that
back in the
perspective,
day.
from that perspective, that is impressive.
I mean, there's a reason that, we're still not only talking about Lara Croft, but, waiting on new games. It's just like they came out of the gate swinging with this one.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look all that great, but like Brian said, it's something that you can forgive because, 'twas the style at the time. We didn't see we didn't see curves until we were already men. So
yeah, I think my biggest problem with the graphics of the game was everything was block based, and sometimes it would line up perfectly, and you wouldn't be able to see like an entrance or a lead into the caves or something like that, and you'd be walking around for far longer than you ought to be, and you didn't know where to go. Then finally, you accidentally at one point see it, or you look up a guide and it's like, go here, and it's like, well, there's nothing fucking there, and then you go back and it's there.
Yeah,
all because it blends together.
You know what though?
Yeah, there were a couple of sorry, go on.
Oh, I'm far more forgiving of that from this game than in Kingdom Hearts, where there's like, oh, you need to go in this door, and it's just like, that's just a picture of a door against like a flat surface. I didn't even know I could go in there.
Yeah, that had no excuse because that game definitely did not suffer in the graphics department.
No.
So. But I mean, there's a lot of I want to call it clipping and stuff like that with the Brian. You're the tech guy here. I mean, what is this game? Is it vectors or vertices or?
Oh, it uses polygons.
Polygons, and
basically a shit ton of triangles. Hence why everything is sharp edged.
Yeah.
So you do get a lot of flicker and a lot of things just sort of popping in and popping out, but it's not something I'm going to knock it for.
It's also the processing power of the PlayStation, trying to shove all that stuff into memory and then, deciding what can and can't be seen at the time, and things will pop in, pop out. And
Yeah,
sure.
It's just, again, it's when you try to build something from the ground up, which this game basically was, and, you're not going to get everything right. Plus, there's not a million people on the internet yelling at you at this point in life. So, 1996, the internet still was in its infancy.
Yeah, and we were using it to try and look up naked codes for Lara Croft.
Yes, the nude patch on the PC.
Wait, was that?
Nude
because
Raider.
for PC you could patch it, right? I was gonna say, was that really
the
a thing?
big schoolyard rumor was you could do it on consoles,
I
but
don't
no.
think you could.
We all believed it, though. We all believed it.
We had
Speaking of,
It's all we had.
A fervent hope more than the belief, maybe, but it was there. It was there.
we've talked about the controls and the graphics a little bit, but like the kind of like culmination of those two concepts is trying to approach a wall switch and pull it, because my god, it is easier to back my car into the garage than it is to like approach a fucking switch on the. I was like, I didn't get the angle, so I'm like using the walk button, and then she'd be a little bit too far to the right. It's like back up, turn, go forward.
When I started the game, I went into the early on into the game. I jumped into the water, and you had to get the switch underwater. And I went up to it, and I couldn't pull it. So my first thought was, I guess you can't grab a switch underwater. I mean, this is going to be for later. So I swam back, ran around for 30 minutes, got bored, turned it off, looked it up online. It's like, grab the switch underwater. I'm like, you motherfucker.
And
I've got a solution to both of your problems.
Yeah.
I mean,
Tyrannosaurus Rex killing?
Yeah, well, that's always a solution to a lot of problems. But, Sam, did you not use the strafe button?
I did, but sometimes I was
you
just really off on my approach.
And Brian, if you just get roughly in the area of that underwater switch and hold down the button to use the action, she will drift up to that switch and use it.
That's true.
See, I did not know that because she did not drift up when I tried it.
Well.
I must not have held it on to it for long enough.
Well, and I wonder if...
Either way, 1 out of 10, this game sucks.
Well, I wonder, too, if Brian's using the modern controls for the most part. I wonder if that...
I was using the modern controls.
I wonder if that wasn't a thing,
Sorry,
Possibly,
I hadn't factored that in. The newfangled... I mean, I've played the Anniversary Edition as well, although I think I've only played it the once, so I don't remember much about it. I remember it looking really, really nice, but it had to have had updated controls. I mean, it was Xbox 360, so I can't imagine it didn't.
Yeah, I think so.
But no, I just always gravitate back towards this one. I mean, Yeah, I mean, obviously, like Sam said, it is an almost carbon copy sort of Indiana Jones story that wears all of its surprises just on its sleeve. Like, you get the opening cutscene, of course, where it's established that there's been some kind of explosion and something has come out of the ground. You know, there is someone frozen in this ice. And then the very next scene, you know, you're getting contacted to go on a hunt for these pieces of the Scion. And yeah, if you haven't figured it out by then, I don't know what to tell you. I just think it's like, I mean, if we cast our minds back to 1996, like it's kind of a choice that it's a female protagonist at all, right?
No, I'm actually reading the wiki right now, and I can answer that question because under the development, it says when they first presented the idea for the game, the concept art featured a male lead who strongly resembled Indiana Jones, so they changed it for legal reasons.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. See, I did not know that. Fucking hell, Brian, swooping in.
Yeah, well, I'm reading while you guys are talking.
That's amazing. I did
and then
not
everyone
know
was
that.
like,
And her original name was Laura Cruz.
Laura Cruz.
She came from Mexico.
Well, I just like how the, I guess, and I don't want to call it a knee-jerk reaction, but like, well, we designed this character, but he too closely resembles Indiana Jones, so fuck it, let's make her hot. Yeah, like,
You telling me Harrison Ford wasn't hot back then?
Harrison
fucking
Ford,
hell he
yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hold your tongue, mister.
No,
Absolutely.
I just mean, you know, we'll switch the gender. It's like, of course she's got to be, you know, a bombshell, but whatever.
The platforming design drew extensively from Prince of Persia.
I knew it. I fucking knew it. Because that's one of the things.
Yeah.
No, genuinely, that's one of the things I was going to bring up. So where I was talking earlier on about the kind of the platforming aspect of this game is kind of based on, and how do I explain this? It's kind of based on, I guess, a step positioning. Like I said, you know, you can go right to the edge, and then you could maybe make a standing jump, or maybe hop back one, and then make a running jump, and stuff. And that is very, very original Prince of Persia, where you're trying to make those calculations and just give exactly the right amount of distance and jump and landing and all of that stuff to avoid the many traps. You know, it is very, very Prince of Persia.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I feel vindicated.
And the amount of times, because like when you play it on the, I discovered this much to my dismay when I was talking to you, Alan, while I was playing. It was like, oh yeah, I'll just I'll pop a save on there and I'll be fine. And you're like, wait, what? So apparently the original version had these save points that would disappear. I was like, my God, the amount of times I would have been so frustrated playing the original. I'm just happy for the quality of life improvements, because I did enjoy the game, but I don't have time to just sit here and like, oh, I guess I hopped backwards and fell off of a ledge and died, or had to climb way back up. So
much.
Being able to just pop a save state, you know, I don't care. I save scummed. I saved over 230 sometimes in the course of the game, and I'm not even worried about it. Like, it is what it is.
Probably how many times I died on that last level.
Slept like a baby last night.
Exactly, because you know why? Because I finished the fucking game so that we could talk about it today. So there we go. Like, I still understand it. I understand that, you know, back then you'd have to save at these save points and probably replay a whole bunch. But yeah, that's part of figuring it out.
But they're pretty generous with those save crystals, though. I will give them credit for that. I mean,
Well,
they are not necessarily hard to find, and they're kind of put in places where it's just like, well, we know you've just been through this hellacious section of platforming. Here's a save crystal. Well done. And
That's actually really nice.
That was sort of the flavor at the time, because Resident Evil liked to give you those typewriter ribbons, like maybe 3 for the entire game.
That's true. I mean, I would say this is arguably more forgiving.
I don't. Why did they hate us saving? They made us buy that memory card, the one we're supposed to talk about. Otherwise, they'll quit their subscription. You know, the Lara Croft memory card.
Yep.
There it is.
There it is. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with not completing the game in a weekend. You know, that
possibly, yeah.
Yeah,
it's always
so.
that, or
it's always
better. They
that
knew
shit.
kids weren't going to rent the memory card anyways.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, really, back then.
Maybe.
Okay, I got another fact I read. You guys will like this one. I knew about this one, but I forgot about it. Her breast size was actually brought about by accident. The guy who developed it, Toby Gard, he was messing around with a model, and quote unquote accidentally blew up Laura's bosoms to 150% of what they intended to be. As he was resizing it back to normal, the other designers saw what he was working on and told him they loved it and he should keep the increased size.
I'm sorry. I am sorry, but that word accidentally is doing a lot of heavy lifting there. Those are the biggest those are the biggest air quotes I've ever seen in my life. Accidentally.
I accidentally honked my wife's boobs last night because she took her shirt off. It was totally unexpected.
Just
Like,
love
it's not.
that. It's like,
I didn't
oops, I
accidentally make her arms too long, or maybe her feet are slightly too big. Oh no, I was playing around with the tits, and oh no,
I was sitting there in the office masturbating, and I made her tits 150% bigger.
somebody else was walking by and it's just like, I like that.
I like the
put that
design.
away,
This
please.
is way better.
I mean, let's
Do
be.
you remember that episode of South Park when Cartman's dog, the bounty hunter, and then like I guess the one who's supposed to be the girlfriend of dog there, has a big breast and she can't see over her own tits?
I do remember that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of right here.
Oh my God.
I mean, let's say that was accidental, and I don't believe for a second that it was. I mean,
yeah, it's apocryphal for sure.
and it's hard to say a thing like this without coming across as like really, I don't know, creepy or whatever. But you know, is that why the game succeeded so much? I mean,
Well, that's what got people into the door, and then the game held up on its own.
exactly
so.
right. I mean, because it can't be. I mean, Lara Croft is a perfect marketing tool, like a perfect, almost mascot for the PlayStation. I mean, I would consider her one of the mascots of PlayStation.
Yeah, for sure.
And a lot of it comes down to that character design.
Yeah.
So
I just remember getting Game Informer
Accidentally.
magazine, and you remember the I don't know if you got it in the UK. Brian, did you get Game Informer in Canada?
Yeah, we got Game Informer, but I was more of a PlayStation magazine.
Well,
kid.
anyways, I had a Game Informer. I mean, Game Informer was a shill for PlayStation anyways. They hardly reported or were favorable to Nintendo, but whatever. It is whatever. That's all in the past.
Well, Nintendo had Nintendo power,
That's
right?
true.
Sure.
Yeah, someone had to be objective.
Do you think Nintendo was giving their information to Game Informer?
Well, no, they were reviewing those games though. So because that was the thing with Game Informer. I think there were kind of guides, but it was mostly reviews, if I recall. But I remember I used to check these out all the time because they had these really cool, like, people do incredible artwork on envelopes and send them into Game Informer. And I remember that they had like artist corner.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I just remember like seeing it was all just like the cheesiest, like Tifa and Yuffie and Lara Croft, and just like the boobs hanging out, and like I just remember seeing like, wow, you actually sent that into a magazine and they published it. This is like basically
holy shit!
Yeah,
Is
well-
that the start? I was going to say the start of Rule 30.
Yeah.
Was that Rule 33
Yeah.
or something? I don't know.
Right? It's just like, oh my God.
If
But
it
I just remember
exists, nerds will draw pictures of it.
I know, and I remember that. So it's like that was definitely in kind of the atmosphere of like, oh, hot, video game character lady. But yeah, like you said, I'm sure it was great for marketing, but then the game itself stood on its own.
Exactly. I mean, sex sells, but if the game sucked, we wouldn't be talking about it today.
No.
Yeah, everybody would just be making the joke of Lara Croft.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, she'd be
But,
forgotten by now.
You know, one thing I appreciated about this game is that you had pistols that had unlimited
Yes.
ammo.
Oh,
For some reason, I had in my memory that the pistols would run out of ammo and you had to find it all around the place, but that was only for the specialty weapons like the shotgun or the Uzis or whatever.
Uzi 9
Uzis,
millimeters.
I think you get off the skateboard.
Oh, fucking, why
right.
why is there a fucking that really by the time I got to the end of the game, the levels were starting to piss me off a little bit, and at that point I was like, why am I deep in this mine in the middle of like the ocean and there's a fucking kid on a skateboard like in this.
I like how you're that far into the game and you're not questioning why there's lions, tigers, and bears and dinosaurs and, all
I don't
the
know
other
if-
people running around trying to shoot
I
you.
fucking forgot there was a dinosaur. Like, that T-Rex is really crazy and pretty early in the game, but then, like, they don't address, there's, like, no dinosaurs anywhere else. It's just, like, this random, part of Peru has dinosaurs, and that's it. And you don't see any
Well, it's a
after
hidden.
that.
It's a lost valley. You got to have dinosaurs in there. A couple of raptors and a T-Rex. That being said, like,
T-Rex
back
is
in the
cool.
day, playing that bit, it was mind blowing. Like when that thing hoves into view, out of the draw distance there, and it's just like, well, fucking hell, what am I going to do against that? And obviously you can kill it, of course, but it was just a spectacular. I think that's probably one of the most iconic moments in the entire series, undeniably so. It's just like suddenly a fucking T-Rex.
Were you always intended to kill it? Because I actually did. I just pulled out the pistols and just kind of there was like these little alcoves that you kind of hide in.
That's right.
That's what I did too.
Yep.
Yeah. It wasn't even a challenge at that point. It's not like I was running around.
No,
but I mean, if you get caught kind of with your pants down and you don't know the lay of the land and you don't find anywhere to hide, it is possible that it will. I mean, it's more for spectacle.
I found the place to hide by accident.
Well, yeah exactly. It's far more for show, for spectacle, than it is an actual challenge. But it's certainly when you don't know it's coming, it is quite the moment.
Yeah,
But you're right, Sam. It is kind of a shame that they didn't kind of pursue that a little bit further. I mean, if you're going to go with the ridiculous, and I made this comment while we were talking, and it was the fact that Lara Croft is literally wiping out ecosystems just to get like a little shrine, like a little idol or something.
Right? Yeah.
To live in her mansion. Like it's.
Oh, she is.
The amount of money she could have made telling scientists where dinosaurs were probably would have paid for the rest for life anyways. She'd never have to rate it to him again.
Oh, no. Discoverer of,
it's actually a really good
modern
point.
Dinosaurs. Yeah. Holy shit.
So, by the way, I found a T-Rex. You what? Oh, I killed it. You what?
Yeah. It tasted good.
I just like how
it's just like mowing down everything.
I didn't love the combat just because some of the clunkiness of the tank controls just, I mean, you can size up your jump, but when something's like pursuing you or running after you, like the tank controls really don't do much as far as combat. Like you could jump sideways or do like a kind of this like round off flip or whatever, but it didn't always work. Or it wasn't the most responsive. I would say one thing I thought was cool about the enemies though was like you had, I don't know, they were like wild dogs or whatever, which I didn't enjoy killing because they yipe. I never liked that. But, you have those wild dogs and then they kind of get a little stronger. Maybe they're wolves or whatever. And then it goes to like a lion. And then there's like the Black Panther is like the most, the most advanced of like the cats. And then like by the time you get to the end, it's like mutants that do the same thing. But it's basically the same enemy, just like kind of reskinned and upgraded each time, like a little bit tougher each time. So by the time I got to the end, I had to update my, I had to pull out the weapons that.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm not a big fan of the switch from like the animals and the realism of it that is fairly loosely strung together to begin with, and then all of a sudden you're talking aliens at the end of the game. It felt like they ran out of ideas and just decided, what if aliens did
it?
Well,
because
I mean,
they really could have made that girl, what's her name, the one who you fight at the end there, or she jumps down the pit, Jacqueline Nadala or whatever. She would have made a great franchise antagonist if they had kept her
like
around.
An overarching antagonist. Like what if she just sent like this big hired goon to after you? What I would have liked, I think, is like there are definitely, I guess, episodes where like there's Peru and then there's Greece and then there's Egypt, so it's like there are levels that kind of function as little episode arcs within the story, and that's kind of cool. But then you get to the end and it's like there's this mine randomly, and that level I think kind of sucks. Unfortunately, it's very ugly and it's kind of ambiguous to try to figure out how to get through it. And then you're in Atlantis, and like instead of it being this like classical looking, aquatic themed turquoise and gold, like cool Atlantis that you would think of, it's like the inside of an asshole. It's like it's it's just like, I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's like a giant living organism.
I gotta bring up the full motion videos again, because that I was just shaking my head the entire time. You left you left Egypt there after you did the sanctuary, and she has to jump on the boat, and the henchmen are like classical morons, because she is within full view, and she opens up the latch to the bottom of the boat, which is just a normal passenger boat. And then she falls asleep, and nobody finds her the entire trip. And then she just climbs out while they're staring at her, and she jumps in the water. And you're like, "What was that noise?"
You see, I would have less umbrage with that if it was something like I don't know, a liner or a cargo ship or something like that.
Right,
but this thing's little more than a speedboat. So
yeah, this is something like you can afford on a what are they called, middle class salary.
Yeah, you would find somebody accidentally stowing away just by taking a piss in that thing.
It kind of just looks like a large
probably
fishing
snoring
boat.
too, just like
yeah, and she probably stinks by that point. Let's be fair.
Oh God, yeah.
She's been through a lot. But no, I mean, listen. To go back to Sam's point about Atlantis, like, I kind of agree. Visually, it's not all that nice, but then on the other hand, I actually kind of like that, because the whole premise of the story is that Natla is one of these 3 Atlantean rulers, and she's basically been ostracized because she's a fucking nutcase and is trying to create a race of mutant creatures to bring about the next step of evolution, as they do, the whole Albert Wesker bit. And so you go through Natla's mines, which is where she's bringing all of her materials to do this. Makes sense. You get to Atlantis, and the way I kind of look at it is that this is what she has done to Atlantis. This is like her corruption, all of her experiments, just kind of muddying the waters there and just making it look like that. Because there are some parts of it, like when you're actually inside the Golden Pyramid at the end, it's just like, actually, I could see how this would be quite nice back in the day, but I just think she's just gone and fucked it all up.
I guess. I don't know.
I think that's a bit of a stretch. I'm with Sam on this one, where it just looks like they took way too many liberties. Like, Atlantis is supposed to be an ancient city. They could have leaned hard on that.
Yeah, it just...
True enough.
And at that point, I think, like, I didn't mind the Atlantis level. It was a lot more combat than I wanted to deal with. And some of the platforming was tricky. And, I mean, other than that, it was fine. But, like, at that point, I think... I mean, you had gone through, like, Peru, Greece, Egypt. The Egypt levels are long. And it's like, after the Egypt levels, it was kind of like...
They're great.
It's like, okay, yeah, they are great, but they do take a while. And there is some, like, overlapping between the levels where you're kind of returning back to the beginning and opening a door or whatever. It's like a very roundabout way to get through this door that you see from the very beginning, which was cool. But... You get to Atlantis and after the mines, and it's just like, man, I kind of hated to say it, but the game was overstaying its welcome at that point, where it was like, I've done these 3 things, I've got these Scions or whatever they called them, and I kind of just wanted, like, maybe a short level with a showdown at the end at a kind of more classical looking Atlantis. And maybe that's boring, but at this point, like, other games had done the, it's like an action game, but it's aliens. It's kind of felt contra to me, where it was just like, of course it's like this weird like H.R. Giger looking nightmare scape, but I don't know, that just seems like it'd been overdone at that point.
It's cheap storytelling. It's the Deus Ex Machina of 90s video games. Like, if you can't come up with an engaging final act,
it's aliens.
You just make aliens show up.
Do you know what, though? Do you know what I was thinking while I was playing this, and something that I've just, while listening to you talk? It's a very, very loose comparison, but I'm wondering if there's a little bit of Doom.
Yeah, I was thinking of Doom just now too.
So Sam's with me, so...
Yeah.
I mean, you're running around. Hang on.
Very loose.
Hang on.
Loose, yeah.
You're running around. You're looking for keys to open doors. Okay, it's third person. It's a platformer. You're gradually descending throughout various stages of antiquity until you basically end up in hell. I mean, I think there's a little bit of Doom in there in its level design.
Yeah, I mean, in the concept that they borrowed ideas from a successful game to put inside of their games, yeah, that's easy to say that Doom influenced this game. Doom influenced a lot of games, but to say that it's the same is very very loose thread. A very frayed thread. I
myself said it was loose, but I just think that that's something that maybe set a precedent for this kind of thing. It's just like, well, let's
Doom set the precedent for a lot of games.
Just let's make this game look more and more hellacious as we get through it.
Yeah.
Let's introduce almost demons, and stuff like that. I think it's kind of a, like you say, it is a thing that a lot of games do, and a lot of games did back then.
Yeah, but this game really rode the ancient tomb thing for, I guess, like the first 5 minutes until you got to the T-Rex. But even that could be kind of explained in the fantastical sense. But yeah, it's just like you're going through these ancient civilizations, and then you end up in Atlantis, like the be-all, end-all of lost civilizations, and they just, it's aliens. Next thing you know, they should have shown some aliens in the background building the pyramids.
Yeah.
I did not get aliens. I did not get
why
aliens.
Did they have to stray so far from, like, realism when they were on a good track all the way up to that point, and then they just like, well, we're going to finish off the plot now, because they didn't lead you up to that. That final act explained everything that you needed to know that you didn't know up to that point. It just literally decided to add stuff to the story.
I guess.
Yeah. Like, turns
I mean,
out
they've kind of already
the whole
seeded
time.
it from the start. Excuse me.
I didn't notice any seeds from the start. All I noticed is, by the end of the story, all of a sudden it's just aliens.
You know,
well, I mean, the opening.
There was no
scene,
like little saucer flying around above you to hint that was going to happen.
There's no aliens in the game.
Yeah, I think it's all just mutants, but it's just weird looking.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't.
You
fit.
know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. You know what?
They didn't have passports from my country, therefore they're considered aliens.
Well, you know what would have been cool? Some games do this. Like, I'm thinking of the example of like Duke Nukem, where it's like you finish kind of an episode and you have to fight a boss, right? And then that boss actually kind of becomes in the next set of levels that are, more difficult, you see that, what was a boss in the first section as kind of a periodic enemy going forward. Where like it would have been kind of cool to cap off one of those levels with like, oh, there's these weird freaking mutants, and this is kind of a boss, and then turns out you go to Atlantis and there's a bunch of these mutants.
Yeah, it would have been a great way to set up the ultimate ending to the game, which, by the way, I just want to say this now, the end is not worth the playthrough. The ending,
very
when
short.
I play a game that has a story, I like to soak in the ending. This game, I could barely get my toe wet before it ended.
It was weird.
Yeah. It is a very, very quick, short and sweet. I could have done with a denouement, but Sam, I will counter that point you made though.
Okay.
Because if I remember correctly, you do actually fight one of those centaur creatures in Egypt. When you make
shit,
it down
that's
to those
right.
You do.
statues that are underneath the.
You're
But
right.
it's still
yeah.
really late in the game. Like,
Now, were those
Sure,
mummies?
yeah.
you even
Oh,
could have come across them at the beginning of Egypt. Like, you could have like, oh, what are these things? I hope they don't wake up. And then next thing you know, they wake up. That would have been fine because you're still in Act 2 at that point. But by the time they show up, it's
Actually, they're all
It's
over
too little
Egypt
too
now,
late.
I think.
Yeah, no,
they're right from the start.
but they're more mummies than they are like. I mean, I guess that's kind of more of the style of progression that they did with those enemy types, where you have those kind of like weird looking mummies that are also cats somehow, and then you've got the the centaur creatures that are also kind of mummies, and then when you get to Atlantis, like you still see them, but they are fully mutant. So maybe it's a little bit of both. Like it is kind of one thing leading into the next, but it just was weird. I was just
maybe,
I don't know.
You know, it very, very well could be that I didn't notice because I kind of powered through this game quick as I could.
Yeah, I mean that's. I mean we are. If ever we're on the clock, it's trying to keep up with the backlog here.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I tried to pay attention to the story as much as I could, but I probably missed a lot.
I mean, the story is what it is. You know, you've been sent for 3 artifacts for a mysterious person. Oh no, mysterious person has betrayed me and taken back all of the artifacts. Now I must do. It's fucking Ark of the Covenant. It's not the Last
Indiana
Crusade.
Jones. Is that the Indiana Jones game?
It's not
Yeah.
Temple of Doom.
Yeah, no.
It's the other one.
I was conflating that with the Indiana Jones point and click Atlantis game.
Which I need to play again. That is so
Raiders
good.
of the Lost Ark.
But no, I mean, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah, it was right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically Raiders of the Lost Ark, except Lara has some agency in this game, unlike Indiana Jones. That's a weird film. I love it, but it doesn't affect the plot in any way.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess so.
I didn't know one of the enemies called the doppelganger was supposed to be a clone of Lara Croft.
Yeah,
Oh,
that weird
I love
skinned
that.
weird skinned version of Lara.
Yeah, the fandom calls her Bacon Lara.
Yeah, it looks weird. It took me a second, but I'm glad that I figured out what it was doing, because it is kind of part of a puzzle, and it freaks you out when you first see it, because it's like there are two enemies in that area, and then you see this weird fucking skin thing walk up to you, and then it's also shooting, because, like, I mean, presumably you're shooting,
of course.
and it's mirroring you, so if you're shooting at it, it's shooting at you, and it took me a second because I killed it. I figured it out, but it's only because I died twice, and it was like, I'm shooting at this thing, and then the first time I died, it died. I was like, oh man, I just, you get that thing sometimes where, like, you fight something and you die at the same time it dies, and then you game over.
Yeah, of course.
So
I hate
I know,
when that
and I
happens.
figured that's what was happening, and I was like, finally I cleared off the enemies first, and then took this thing on, and I was like, wait a minute, this isn't just like Shadow Link. It's actually just doing what I'm doing in reverse. And that puzzle was so cool, because then I platformed up, and I'm like, oh, this whole room is a mirror image of itself. And so when you climb up and go over and flip the switch to open that lava pit, it's like, oh, I'm supposed to sacrifice this thing to
here we
open the
go.
door. I was like, oh my god, this is the coolest. That was probably my favorite room in the entire. It was just so
It's so clever.
Yeah.
And
The
thing
fact
is,
that
well,
they
it's
pulled it off
sneaky.
perfectly too.
Yeah, it's sneaky as well, because one thing I do love about this game is just like, you said about the combat, and, again, parts of it I agree with. I mean, the gunplay really just comes down to jumping in various directions and shooting at enemies and hoping they don't hit you, which is fine, because Lara is very mobile when it comes to jumping. So, you can jump and
Yeah,
flip.
got a good core on her.
Hell yes. Core games. Well done. I like that. What was I saying? So, yeah. The thing I love most is that there is a lock-on. Like, you get the guns out, and she will see enemies before you do, and she will point at them. And that comes in very handy for basically just getting the jump on enemies before you get fucked over. And she will point at the doppelganger. So you're naturally just thinking, you know what? I must have to try and kill this thing. And that's a bit of a bait and switch there. I thought that was quite clever.
I
You still there?
may have been doing something and didn't hear a word you said.
Oh, that's all right. They heard what I said, my rambling. The thing is, I mean, what they don't see here is that you guys are chatting away in the chat there, talking about God knows what, and I'm trying to hold
They can hear it though, because I'm typing.
I'm trying to hold a coherent thought together while trying to read what you two dickheads are talking about, and yeah. So I don't even know what I just said. So fuck you guys.
Fuck you. No, but the funny thing is, like, you mentioned that doppelganger. It's like, man, I would point guns at that thing too if, like, a skin version of myself just approached me. Could you imagine,
yeah.
like, a Hellraiser version of yourself just, like, walking in, like, all dripping with gore? No. But the other thing I did appreciate the lock-on too, because I could basically, if I could find a spot in a room where I could jump up and be away from the enemies, I would.
Oh, that was half the strategy.
Exactly, and then
100%.
that was how I was conserving my energy on the good guns when the enemies got tougher, because I would just pull out the pea shooters and just fire with those until I did enough damage to kill them, and then I'd drop down.
But the thing is as well, if you are holding down that fire button, like, even if they're out of sight, she is still following it. Like, as long as you hold it down, if they come back into view, you start shooting again. It's like, as long as you're holding that button down.
Because this game doesn't have proper analog mechanics, the fact that she aims at the enemy, like the bats or whatever that are up high, that makes this game way more playable than something like Mega Man Legends, where you have to hold the R1 button and stop, make a complete stop, and then aim your cannon up and shoot. It's really well done. I give, like, props to this game for that one.
Definitely. Brian, remember Jet Force Gemini? Like, that's kind of how Jet Force Gemini was done too. Why would I bring that up? But yeah, you had to do the thing where you would hold the shoulder button and lock down so that you could aim. And
But a lot of games, like, what game is that? GoldenEye was the same way. Like, if you wanted to aim, you were at a dead stop.
Oh,
you couldn't
yeah,
run and
Right.
gun.
Yeah, there's a bit of auto aim, but not enough to.
Oh
It's
yeah,
tough.
you get like the little left and right
Yep.
center of mass, but if you wanted to take a headshot with the AK, you had to stop, and you're getting shot at the same time. It's,
Yeah.
This game did it better. That's all I'm saying. Is
All
the
day
fact
long.
that she auto aims is just
Yeah,
glorious.
definitely a game changer. And I wonder if that's a result of like you could play test this game and just be like, there's just no viable way to make this work.
If they put in the mechanic where you had to do that stop and aim thing, this game would be
It'd be
unplayable.
horrible. Yeah.
God,
I mean,
it would be.
The enemies are tough enough as it is when there's more than one of them. Like if you can deal with one at a time, that's fine. But then sometimes there'd be these trapdoors where you'd like open a switch and then just like two jaguars would jump out. It's like, fuck, I just killed two of these and there's two more. And then they just, if they get you in a corner, you cannot jump out of it. It gets really tough. That's why I was saying like
you just have to keep moving and keeping an eye on your surroundings as well, because it's so easy during a gunfight to just forget where you are and just like fall off of the side that you didn't want to fall into.
Exactly that, or just end up in a corner and just get mauled. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
But I think this game really sort of wears its kind of puzzle platformer first, and everything else is kind of secondary. So it's like, we are making this adventure game where the main mechanic is exploring and solving solving puzzles, creating puddles and solving puzzles.
That sounds like a Peppa Pig game.
But like they had to obviously put the action and everything like that. You're just like, you know what? It's not something we're going to make you think about that hard. It's going to be challenging, but you don't have to expend all of this brain power on figuring out how to fight enemies. Just she'll point in the direction, you just shoot, try not to get stuck anywhere. And I think that's a great balance of gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is.
So what did you guys use, gun-wise? Like, what was your preferred?
All of them. Anytime I found ammo, I used that gun. I rotated through the guns because I sucked at this game.
I thought the shotgun. Usually I'm a shotgun guy. Like I really liked. I think was it Devil May Cry. I was like, always with the shotgun.
You are.
Yeah, I like a shotgun, but this game the shotgun was tough because it was pretty slow. It did a ton of damage, and there were some PlayStation achievements in the PS5 version of the remaster where like you would get achievements for like killing bosses in a certain way. Like if you were to kill someone with the shotgun, you'd get an achievement. So I would flip it for that. I'm not an achievement hunter, but it was just kind of fun to get that little ping when you got one. But yeah, I didn't like the shotgun. I really liked the Magnum pistols, and I would use them only when I absolutely needed to for the longest time. And then towards the end, like in one thing I will say that's positive about the Atlantis level in particular is that there are ammo drops everywhere. So like,
oh
my god, so many.
And if you've
the mysterious ammo drops.
Exactly. If you've saved or been like kind of economizing your weapons throughout the game, like you will end the game with just an insane quantity of ammunition for the Uzi, for the Magnums, and even for the shotgun if you don't use it too much. So it was kind of perfect that way, where like by the time I got to Atlantis, like I just was using the Uzis and was fine with it.
But don't you lose all your ammo before you get... When you get to Natala's Mind, you have to reacquire everything, don't you? Do you lose all the ammo at the same time?
No, you keep your ammo, you just lose the gun. So, like, if you had been picking up Uzi ammo this whole time...
I used too much ammo.
Yeah, like, accumulating Uzi ammo throughout the whole game, like, I had, like, 1,500 bullets. And, like, I don't think I ever dropped below 1,000.
I always play this game with the elixir mentality. It's just, everything that I get that is consumable, I'm just like, well, I'm not going to use that. I mean, the lion's share, by far and away, probably like, I don't know, 3/4 of the game, I'm just using the pistols. Like, and I fucking love those pistols. I think they're great. I will admit, as I start to get towards the Atlantis levels, I will start begrudgingly using the magnums, or I would use the magnums for some of the human bosses, which we haven't talked about because they're great as well. And then, yeah, as you say,
Skateboarder boy.
Hey, skateboarder boy. By the end of the game, I was like packing like 3,000 rounds of Uzi bullets, which was fantastic for the big fucking mutant ballsack monster.
Yeah, and that's kind of, well, honestly, like a failing of the game in a sort of a way, because it really does not encourage you to use these weapons early on, and then you just become overpowered at the end of it. So
That's true.
I don't know. It's just something that maybe they could have balanced out a little bit better.
I like being overpowered.
Well, I do too. That's why I like RPGs, because by the end of it, you're just like cooking.
Yeah.
That's what.
I
Yeah,
have to
I
be
didn't.
successful in one
Stars
thing in
DLC,
life.
then you take away all your fucking power.
Oh, really? I haven't played that DLC yet. I need to get on that.
I
shit.
just started it, and it puts you back to level 1.
Well, I don't hate that.
In the context of the story, it makes sense, but it's just kind of annoying because, you know, I was on a New Game Plus run. But that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about Skater Boy.
Let's talk about some of the bosses. Yeah, go for it.
Funniest fucking one of the game. When he came skateboarding out, I was just, I started laughing. I'm like, this is beyond ridiculous.
Yeah, and then
they have a guy with 2 Uzis on a fucking skateboard, grinding and hitting the gnar on the fucking ancient temple.
Right.
And this was somebody's idea, and they thought it was good.
Right, and then just the way he talks to you when you're shooting, he's like, "Now I know you're not shooting at me, but I'm the only person here, so you must be shooting at me."
Yeah.
Is there anything more 90s than the sentence that Brian just said?
The gnar.
Like, that is... No, just that whole thing. Dude on a skateboard with Uzis skating around an ancient temple, just like busting out catchphrases. It's just like, that is 90s to a T. That's what we were like back in the day. We all did that. We all skated around with Uzis. It was a rough time to be alive.
Yeah. The fact that we could, hold them and aim at the same time as doing kick flips and, ollies and other skateboarding words I learned from Tony Hawk is amazing.
But again, you just jump and flip around, and he can't, heal yourself up, obviously, with, again, one of these ancient med packs that is just lying around, and you're good, I didn't find it to be all that much trouble. Dare I say, I said, see you later, boy.
Well, I'd say that was pretty good. Well, I guess kind of the funny part about that is at that point, if you're questioning why there's a skateboarder guy in the middle of this mine that,
you're
that
right.
leads to an ancient thing, it's well, there's also dinosaurs and fucking...
Okay, I'm going to concede that one on you because you are absolutely right. I was literally complaining about the same thing 20 minutes ago.
It's I guess it's anything goes. There's a skateboarding guy with guns.
I think it was
dinosaurs.
just at that point. I think that's what I realized at that point was it didn't matter. And then you get the cowboy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's just, let's take every trope we can and shove it into the game. And you're a mercenary when you have these mercenaries with you that are going to stop Lara Croft, and each one has to come in with a gimmick. All right, I'm good with that.
Yeah. And that fucking piece of shit as well, because he turns up if you are ready somewhere in Natla's mines, and if you haven't found all of those fuses and gotten your weapons back, you can trigger him too soon and just end up hauling your ass around the level with this guy chasing you with your own magnums, and you know how powerful those fucking things are. So
does he give up eventually if you trigger him too soon, or is it just because that is actually poor design?
Know.
For the way that
he always fucking kills me.
Okay, because the way they put that fuse right at the mouth of the cave where he's just kind of standing there, and if you take one step too far trying to approach this fuse to pick it up and don't immediately turn around, he's there.
But then that kind of gotcha thing is kind of par for the course with Tomb Raider. There are so many traps where it's just there are switches you will open and the floor underneath you will drop, and if you're not ready for it, you're going to hit the spikes, and it's just okay, I guess I need to watch out for that next time. And it's just that, but with a human boss. You learn from it, you move on. I haven't got a problem with that.
I guess it's just I don't like it though. It's just I'm kind of glad that doesn't really. I don't think that kind of thing is really part of. It's more of a dated kind of gimmick, I think.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
know.
if they
It
wanted
just-
to do that and then give me some clever way to lure him somewhere and kill him,
that would have been cool.
Then-
yeah, but that's
Yeah.
not really part of it. It's just like, oh, it's too early. He's gonna fuck you up if you try to engage.
Don't go
with him
that
'cause
way.
You don't have
Ho, ho, ho.
anything. Yeah, and you can't really get away with them. And the other thing too is like, the mines can be so disorienting. Like, yeah, there's a guy there, but like, are you intended to go forward? You don't really know as you're figuring it out. So it just kind of makes it frustrating, I think.
yeah, I just think we had more patience back in the day.
Um,
You know, this is the
Oh,
sort
way
of
more
shit.
patience.
This
Speak
is the
for
sort of shit
yourself.
you would figure out by trial and error and what have you. I really enjoy the level design in this game.
it is really
You know,
good.
I think it's really cleverly put together and hindered.
Outside of the texturing, yeah, they are good.
Well, it
levels.
was literally what I was about to say. You're absolutely right, Brian. Like, it is hampered by the visuals, you know, and that's why, you know, remakes and remasters of these sort of games are so necessary, because
Well, that's the thing is, the remaster made it so dark that you had to flip back to
Yeah.
the original so you could see
I
like the
couldn't
water or
believe-
something like
I
that.
couldn't believe those screenshots you sent us.
They're
Like,
so
what the
dark.
fuck am I looking at here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just I get
No,
where
it
I'm
was insane.
I get we're underground, and while we're talking about underground, like these levels, these scenarios, and what have you, I have my favourites, I have my least favourites. Can we just talk about Greece for a moment? So Lara turns up at this St. Francis's Folly, which is on top of a fucking mountain. Okay, fine. It's the longest set of levels in the game, and you are just going down and down and down. And I'm starting to get that sort of, you know, when you fall into an Instagram hole of like watching people do caving and shit like that. I'm starting to get those vibes here, and I'm just like, you get to the end and get the artifact. How the fuck does Lara get out of that situation? Like, was there a side door she didn't know about? Like,
Well, don't you know, like every game that takes you right to the end of the level there always has like that one lever that you open and it just opens right to where you need to be.
and if it had showed me that, I'd have been fine. But it just feels like she's descending, and I was just like,
Yep.
I would love to know how she got out of Greece in general. Midas's palace and all of that shit. Tihocan Shrine.
Probably the same way she got in.
I don't know. There's some pretty long drops you do there that I can't.
Yeah, she can fly though. Plot armor.
Oh, fair. Yeah.
So,
Fair.
Didn't you see her ride that motorcycle realistically?
yeah, right.
Absolutely.
That's how she got out with those realistic animations.
Yeah.
So
We've
I
all
thought.
done that.
So I thought that speaking of Midas, I mean, basically, yeah, the Greece is really interesting because you have the cistern, which we've discussed before, not on the show yet, but is basically water temple.
Yep.
But with just one switch to control it. So I get the water temple comparison, but it wasn't too bad. The thing that was confusing about the cistern was like you'd pick up these keys, and then it was like, which key does it go to? Because there's all kinds of locked doors. And the keys were very specifically for certain doors, but didn't distinguish between them really. And I would walk up to a door with a key, like, oh, I have this key now. And I would open it up, and then she'd be like, no.
No.
It's like, what the fuck? What do you mean, no? It's a key. Put it in the door.
Yeah,
You've
key
been
technology was so impressive back in
So that was hilarious. And then also the Midas Palace or whatever, there is basically this magical statue that turns shit into gold. So you get these lead bricks, and I got the lead bricks. I was like, okay, I understand. I got these lead bricks. I got to stick them in this thing. And like the 3 slots for them. And it was like, I hadn't turned them into gold yet. So like I'm opening the thing and trying to put in the lead brick. And she's going, no.
No.
So then I go and find I was like, oh yeah, there's that hand. And I must have to put those or do something with that. So the first thing I did was I find my way all the way down there. And mind you, I haven't saved for a while. I find my way all the way down there. And dumbass that I am, I jump into the hand and it turns Lara completely into gold and kills you. Have you ever done that?
I mean, that... Oh, 100%. It's basically, it's an essential part of any playthrough. Like,
Right.
I every single time I play the game, I save and then jump on the hand.
It's so
Because
funny.
there is a save point in that room, and I'm just like, well, I have to see it again.
Yeah.
It's so... out of all the ways to die, it is perhaps the most unique and clever. Like, I love that puzzle. It's just like, it's one of those,
Yeah.
and the game is full of them, those eureka moments where you're just like, oh, hang on, I see what I've got to do here.
Yeah.
And it really does make you feel intelligent for having figured it out. And then it's just like, well, you figured out the puzzle, but you were stupid enough to stand on Midas's hand that turns everything it touches into gold.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, I guess I'm not as fucking smart as I thought I was.
Well, and then the funny thing is, like, that's actually an achievement on the PlayStation, like the new, the remaster or whatever. There's like an achievement for turning yourself into gold.
Brilliant. Again, it's just all of that sort of lore and sort of. It's not historical, it's sort of pseudo-history, but I just love that if, like, probably one of my favourite parts of the game is the St. Francis's Folly. We've got all of those rooms on various levels that all equate to a different Greek god, and for some reason Thor.
Yeah.
And you have to solve all of those little puzzles to open the doors at the bottom. And I love that section because, like, oh, the room of Damocles. Oh, of course it's got swords hanging from the ceiling.
Yep, that was kind of
Atlas,
cool.
a giant boulder chases after you. Oh, Neptune, I have to do a swimming challenge. I'm just like, oh, I love that. That is so cleverly designed.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty good. Oh, speaking of the Neptune challenge, how fucking good are the swimming controls? This game was way ahead of its. The swimming is just a breeze, and it's like,
yeah.
I mean, you're meant to, because she does have like a certain amount of breath that she has, and you're meant to, I guess, like, do it quickly because you're underwater, and there are vast stretches of, so there is some an element of stress to it, but I never drowned. Like, and it's so easy to maneuver.
I mean, let's be fair. I mean, Miss Croft there does have a very generous pair of lungs, and you can be underwater for quite a long time.
150% larger lungs.
150% accidentally.
Those are extra air pockets for air breath.
Can be used as a flotation device.
My God.
But yeah, the swimming was just fucking sublime. I mean, you might not have always been able to see what you were looking for underwater, and again, that's just a sign of the times. You couldn't always see items, you couldn't always see switches. It was that whole, they don't show up that much, they kind of blend into the scenery, but yeah, it's fine. But yeah, just absolutely brilliant swimming controls.
Just really intuitive. Like, I didn't expect that. I was like, oh, there's going to be swimming. This is going to suck. Like, it is what it is. But, man, just got in there and was like, this is one of the easier, I don't want to call it easy necessarily, but like, just not difficult because of the controls, difficult because of, maybe trying to figure things out while you're underwater, but that's fine. Like, at least the movement was good.
So, like, what, it is 1996, I think this came out. Why did
crazy.
games after this fuck it up?
Exactly, right? What the only other thing, I mean, we didn't talk about like music or sound effects, such as they are, but like I noticed this in the remaster. I'm not so sure about the original game, but like it would play music sometimes during certain sections, like a fight. But
it would always play it after the
right
fight.
It would catch on late, and then it was like, is there still enemies, because the music is kind of threatening, but it was like, no, you're done. And then sometimes you would enter certain areas and you get this kind of like orchestral kind of swell of music, but then it seems like it would go away. Like most of the game is pretty quiet and like
silent.
It just kind of lets you lock in, and you're in this tomb. It should be like the saying goes, it's quiet as a tomb or whatever, it's pretty quiet.
It's brilliant sound design, because it doesn't encroach on the gameplay at all.
That's true.
It's just like you have what I'm now dubbing the music of revelation, which is like you get to this wonderfully scenic area, and like you say, that music just swells up, and it's just like, wow, let me take a minute and just see what the game is telling me here, because obviously it's asking me to look around and just take it all in and try and figure it out from here. But right. Just having so much of the game quiet really sells that sense of isolation. This is like there should be nobody else here. I'm on my own. And it just really makes you feel that. So I think it's used incredibly, and the music's beautiful. It's really, really nice music.
Yeah, when it shows
and
up,
it's just the fact
it's good.
The fact that it's used so sparingly perfectly sells the moment that it's trying to make you feel.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah,
but then there's also kind of some spatial. I mean, I don't think it's that sophisticated, but like an enemy will make sound, and it's like, okay, so there's an enemy coming up, and I got to be careful. Whatever. I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, there is a little bit of additional kind of like sound design around the enemies, so you can tell kind of that there's one around before you can see it.
Yeah. And I reckon some of the better voice acting of this era.
Yeah.
Certainly more than like a Resident Evil or something like that. I think whoever, and I don't know the actress's name, whoever plays Lara Croft in the first game there, it's just a surprisingly good job. Like, you think about when you're mooching around a mansion and she's literally just talking to you.
Right.
She's like, you know what, this is surprisingly natural. Yeah,
it sounded pretty good. And
yeah, I can't argue with that at all.
Yeah, I just thought it was just very conversational, very it just sounded really good.
Right, it didn't sound like people reading off of a script.
Exactly.
And it didn't sound like cheap, because like some of the voice acting back then was bad, because it was like voice acting at the time probably wasn't what it was now, and especially voice acting in a video game was just like, it might just be some of the developers reading lines off of it just because, like, what, do you got to pay someone to do that? No, just get in there and read it. And you're just like, oh no, there's a dinosaur here, whatever. I don't know, I'm just making shit up, but like,
you were almost a Jill sandwich.
Exactly, that one. Yeah, like it didn't sound forced or wooden or anything. It was just very, like you said, conversational. It just sounded natural. So that was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
agreed.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I guess I'm glad we talked about sound, because it is one thing that, like, it is very unobtrusive, and so you could kind of forget about it. If you aren't, it just kind of appears, and then it does its thing, and then it just kind of fades out.
Yeah.
Perfect. Which is what we'll do now. I guess we'll start to fade out. Should we get into our kind of final thoughts and wrap this up?
Let's do it.
All right. Let's throw it to Brian first.
Always to Brian.
What are you, my left boob?
I'll be either your boobs.
Yeah.
All right, so, yeah, okay, I remember this game back in the mid-90s. I just got my PlayStation, was on the demo disc, and honestly, I was still pretty heavy into my JRPGs at that time, so action games weren't really my forte, but I did find this one enjoyable. Enjoyable enough to actually, like, pursue it and, play it a little bit more. And, of course, it did help, in triangle boobs. But when I finally got around to playing it, I was satisfied that I finished the game, but in no way did I ever carry on with the franchise. For me, this one died after the first one. I am interested in playing the new Lara Croft games, because those actually look really good, and I think nowadays their ability to tell a story would be a lot better than back in the 96 when they're kind of still combining the arcadey action with the art form of video games. Without the modern controls, though, these days, I probably wouldn't have got halfway through the game. I probably would have thrown my controller through a window and hit a kid walking by. The remastered graphics makes it too dark, which actually makes it almost unplayable unless you have, like, really good eyes. And I had somebody shoot lasers into my eyes, and I still found it hard to see. The story is okay. I'm not a big fan of the aliens at the end of it, even though we've determined that, yeah, maybe I just kind of glossed over the fact that they were introduced. I would have much preferred it to be some sort of mystical thing like the movie was. And, you grab the tomb or you grab the idol or whatever and the lasers shoot out of its eyes and you have to fight the actual human being who's not some ancient Atlantean that's trying to revive the world or something. The ending wasn't worth the gameplay, because I really it really does piss me off when you have a story and they don't give you some sort of conclusion at the end of a video game, because you've put a lot of hours into gaming and that ending is your reward. So without a good ending, it just kind of takes away from it. Maybe that's what's making me so cranky right now. I found the full motion videos absolutely hilarious. Voice acting, yeah, it was on point, but those full motion videos, because this is back in the era of FMVs, they were just awful to the point they were great. And it's just like the things where Laura jumps on the boat and nobody, even though they're staring at her 5 seconds later, notices that she hides below. The motorcycle that does tricks that are just humanly impossible. Those were great.
Yeah.
Gameplay wise, I think I already mentioned the remap controls is what got me through this. The characters inside of the different tombs, like the bad guys or the henchmen, if you want to call them that, I've just found it funny. They all had themes. We've hashed that one out. I'm not going to knock a point off for that anymore, but I'm going to wrap this up. Sound design, it was okay. The music felt like it was a little bit jarring. Like it didn't really, like when it did pop up, it was too, I don't know what we want to call it, too hyper or something. It didn't really fit You're in the Tomb atmosphere, considering it goes from quiet to music, just like, like that. And yeah, that for me is a bit of a takeaway. I did like the atmosphere of not having music. That really does create the, I just said the word, the great atmosphere. So I'm going to give this game I'm going to go 7 out of 10. It's not something I would recommend considering there's new Tomb Raiders out there, but at the same time, if you are a kid of the 90s, you have to have this one checked off your retro game list.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Agree with that.
All right. Alan? So that's a 7 from Brian. Alan, go ahead. Take it away.
7 from Brian. Now for your right-hand memory. I adore this fucking game. I always have done. I played this way back in the 90s and have loved it ever since. So my score is going to be reflective of not just my opinions now, but just how much time I've spent playing it. I mean, this is inarguably one of the grandmothers of modern gaming. This cinematic style that is now so synonymous with PlayStation, well, most games in general, that sort of 3D, third person over the shoulder thing that we get so much out of from PlayStation these days. It kind of started with games like this. The focus is on maybe not so much how the game looks, because obviously it is hampered by that, the graphical capabilities of the time. But you genuinely get a feeling that they did the absolute best with what they had at the time, and that their vision for the game was perhaps something that outweighed what they could actually put on the screen. But I'm not going to ding it for that, because what they've created is a game that, gameplay-wise, I think is absolutely phenomenal. Like the movement, the swimming, the gunplay, the puzzle solving, all of it just works so flawlessly. The sound design is used so subtly, but to such great effect. Like you said, there are sections of game without music, and it can go so long that when music does actually come in, it's all the more striking for it. It just makes that moment that much more impactful. It's just used so sparingly. The voice work I think is great. It's a game that rewards quiet exploration. It's not something that you're necessarily supposed to blitz through. It's not even something I'd recommend playing with a walkthrough, because I think this is the sort of game that you're supposed to employ a bit of trial and error, and I don't think that's a frustrating thing like it is with some games, because the save points are so generously spaced about that it doesn't feel all that frustrating when you lose progress, and you're just like, well, I've got to get to that next save point. I'm going to keep trying this. Like, I've played this game more times than I can count, and even I struggled on the last level. There are some sections in there that are fucking brutal. But there were some sections of the game where I was just like, you know what, I don't quite remember this section, but for some reason, I just got my guns out, so my brain obviously remembers something that I don't. And it's just, I don't know, it's just a joy to play. I don't know what else there is to say. Lara, of course, they gave us one of the most iconic characters in video game history. That has lasted to this day. What is that? Fucking 30 years later. Unreal. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. It's just a game. It's a comfort food game for me. I will play it again. It is my favorite out of the original PlayStation games, like 2 and 3, and Revelations and is it Chronicles? I think all fine games, but the difficulty spike does get fucking ridiculous in some of those. And this, I just find a nice, smooth difficulty curve and very satisfying to play.
Nice.
And that's it.
All right. So it's 7 and a 9. Nice. I'm gonna.
I love it when we argue.
That's not even. I mean, a 7 isn't a bad score. It's just obviously the game is aged, but it's interesting that I'm only playing this for the first time on the remaster because I got to play it with quality of life improvements, and I think playing it now, 30 years later, I appreciated those so much because while I agree that it wouldn't necessarily have been super frustrating to have to replay sections because some of it is kind of funny where it's just like you take a running jump where you should have taken a standing jump and you just like overshoot and fall down and then she screams and dies. Like it's kind of funny. Like it would make me chuckle more than it would make me angry, I guess. Although sometimes like if you're repeating sections and having to do 5 jumps in a row and then that 5th jump you fall down and it's just like fuck, back to the beginning and like trying to time out all those jumps again. Anyways, I don't know. Playing this game was fun. I appreciated it. I always like going back and filling these gaps in games that are very famous, obviously, that I didn't play when they came out is always interesting. So really appreciated the opportunity to go back and play this one. I will advocate for the remaster. It's a really great collection. So it's available on PS Plus. It's pretty inexpensive. Like if you were to get it on Switch, I'm thinking about doing it anyways, just picking it up and playing the other two. I love how you can, I'm just going to go off on the remaster for a bit. Being able to toggle back and forth between graphical styles was really cool. So, you could play the new graphic style. But flip it if you're having trouble seeing something, flip it and just get that different perspective, and then you can kind of see how it was back then too. Being able to change to modern controls was great. Being able to save anytime you want is great. Does it make the game too easy? Sure, I guess, but also it is a way that a modern game will respect your time a little bit more than something like this where you have not only save points but save points that fucking disappear when you've used them. I don't know, combat was a little tough, but just in general I was pretty locked in. I always it was one of those games, and it's kind of rare that you get those games where you turn it off and you're not playing it and you'll kind of think about the game when you're doing other things and kind of looking forward to that time when you get to sit down and take another crack at something. Or I'd be like, oh, I got kind of stuck here, I left off here, let's see if I can finish that later on. And I was always looking forward to firing it up again. So like the story gets weird with the mutants, and I think the game does get on a little too long. I think the mine level is a little too ambiguous. I don't know. It's a good game. I would definitely recommend playing it. Don't necessarily go out and try to get the original version and play it on original hardware at this point. Like it's dated enough that the quality of life improvements make this a much more playable game, and let it kind of hold up to the current standard, and it's still an enjoyable experience overall. I'm not going to give it the 9, but I'll go a little higher than a 7. I'll give it like a 7.5.
All right. Yeah.
Hopefully that wasn't too rambly. I went all over the place, but I really wanted to focus on the remaster because I just can't say enough that was just such a fun way to play it.
I should dig that out at some point. That being said, though, I mean, 12th of February 2027, we're getting Legacy of Atlantis, the remake of this game. So my question is, either of you, any interest in picking that one up?
Absolutely. I
might wait to see what people say about it first.
Well.
But there's so much crap to friggin' play nowadays that you got to pick and choose what you're going to play. Like, no matter how many games I've walked away from simply because I know I'll never get to them. Like Pragmata was on my list, and
it's still on mine.
It's too far gone now.
That's true.
And if I pick that up at some point,
if I have something else to do or I lose sight for like a minute and then try to come back to something, it's like, I played the first Jedi Fallen Order or whatever game, and I tried to play the second one, and I got like, and not that it wasn't fun or not that it wasn't cool, but like I got a little bit into it, and then I was like, I stepped away for long enough that it's like, I don't really know what's going on anymore. I'd have to get used to the controls.
But you're too far into it that restarting it right now makes you feel like you're playing the same game over again.
Yes.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yes.
I'll be honest.
No, it's just literally I have mapped out what I want for the upcoming months, and considering like I'm not going to be a Grand Theft Auto day one kind of guy, but Pragmata's now on the if it's on a good sale I'll pick it up list. So I'm not going to buy it at full price because next up is Black Flag coming out in less than a month, and. Excuse me, after that, there's going to be something else. I have to look at the list again.
Yeah.
Well, I can promise you I will be picking this game up. If not day one, then at least certainly close to it. And
day two.
Day two.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested.
I will guarantee you right now that there will be a new game plus of that game.
Yeah. Well, I would say like before I played this for the show, I wouldn't have been as interested in it, but now having played it and kind of knowing what the first one's all about, I'm definitely interested in seeing how that could be reimagined in 2027. So, pretty neat. Anyways, let's go ahead and wrap it up. I mean, Linktree/Retrotopia. Go check us out there. We'll do a couple of quick plugs right at the end. Patreon is growing. So's the Discord. Join us over there. We got a free Patreon tier where you can get some goodies. We talked about that up top. And then we have a paid tier for $2 a month. You can get some additional goodies. And we are working on some of those. We got a lot of stuff in the pipeline. I tell you what, getting on the microphone here after a couple of weeks off has really helped out. Hopefully I can motivate myself to kick the tires on some projects that are kind of dormant for me right now and kind of revive some things because, man, it's tough sometimes to motivate. Self-motivating is hard.
Sure
but
is. Sure
I'll tell
is.
you. Yeah. Oh, man. Well, I don't know how to end these things, so...
well, I got something here. Well, I'm just going to plug this out now. We were talking to one of our friends in the Discord there, and they're starting a retro video game.
Yeah.
I think it's a website at this point. So they've talked to us. We've talked to them. We've put a little spot for them in our Discord so they can kind of advertise what they're selling. So keep an eye out for Retro Salvage Games. And we will plug them a little bit more often because, well, we like plugging retro.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Retrotopia, brought to you by Retro Salvage Games. That feels good to say something like that.
That does feel good to say. Now, if you don't mind, we're all off to the lab now to go and accidentally increase the size of some of our body parts.